Good morning, everybody. Let's pick up where we left off with World War I. We're going to quickly finish our slides. You can read through the ones that I skip over quickly. We talked about the Western Front. The Western Front hit a stalemate after everybody dug in the race to the sea. The Eastern Front we have fighting in Russia, the Balkans, the Ottoman Empire. So in all these different places, what ended up happening was what we call a war of attrition. One of the places that this was carried out was on the seas. So the Germans used their U-boats or their submarines to try to limit the amount of supplies that were reaching countries like Great Britain and France. Essentially, if you starve out the soldiers, they can't fight anymore. One of the things they did then was they sunk ships. In 1915, they sunk 227 British ships. This was about 855,000 gross tons. 1916, about 610,000 tons. The German admirals, they decided to actually observe maritime laws. But by 1917, they realized we need to pick up the sinking of boats if we want to have any chance in winning the war. So in 1917, they accelerated the building of submarines. They had 148, and they sunk 195 ships. In 1918, we really see this pick up. So in all of 1915, they sunk 855,000 tons of ships. 1918, in February, they sunk 520,000 tons alone. March, 564,000 tons. April, 860,000 tons. This was really starting to have an impact on the Triple Entente. I'm going to skip over these battles and weapons. Again, you can read through this at any point. But let's get to the United States entering World War I. Remember, at this point, they have been neutral. They do have a large population of English, French, and German people living in America, so they do not want to divide. We do see this in both Canada and the United States. Populations from these countries start to become discriminated against. In Canada, people started to refrain from drinking beer because it was seen as unpatriotic, and that was a German thing. The town of Kitchener in Ontario used to be called Berlin. But in this time period, because of German discrimination, they changed the name to Kitchener. I think in the United States, they started calling sauerkraut Liberty cabbage. So in general, we're seeing these sort of conflicts with the different ethnicities even taking place in North America. Now, May 1915, German U-boat sinks an American passenger ship, the Lusitania. This was on its way to Britain. 1,200 people are killed. This is one of those things that starts to change the tide in the United States in regards to what they're feeling about World War I. Now, the policies in the time were that, and the politics, I should say, the United States did not want to enter the war. Their president was Woodrow Wilson. He had a slogan, "America is too proud to fight." He was also narrowly reelected in the 1916 election after he campaigned with the slogan, "He kept us out of the war." So they didn't want to be a part of it. Europe was not North America. They were not Commonwealth like Canada was. And so politicians just wanted to get elected. They did not want to go and fight. Sinking of the Lusitania and other American ships with the unrestricted warfare, we start to see that change a bit. Now, Germany, they were also fearful of America entering, so they sent something called the Zimmermann Telegram to Mexico. What this did was it encouraged Mexico to attack the U.S. Kind of a crazy concept. The British intercepted the telegram. They give it to the Americans. Because the Germans, what they wanted to do was finance a war that would help Mexico reclaim Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. The USA was not having any of this, though.